Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Blue Clouds TV. It is flight number 124 airborne. Welcome on board. Today is this February 14th, 2022. We're streaming live on YouTube and we're streaming live on Facebook. You can catch us on all these two platforms. Join us. Let's entertain ourselves. Let's get educated in the way of sporting activity. Today is another day where we're going to talk about the celebrations after Chelsea winning their first club World Club competitions trophy. But then after this celebration, there's so many talking town. Rival fans are talking, and also certain pundits in the media, the top media, ESPN, besides. And certain Chelsea, former Chelsea man is also there making noise that is not necessary. We don't know what he's all about, but then we're going to talk about too. We're going to talk about him and his pain, why he think Chelsea Football Club the Champions League, the Club Champions League trophy is plastic. We'll talk about that also. And also, I want to wish everyone a happy Val's Day, happy Valentine's Day, wherever you are. If you're celebrating Valentine, I'll say enjoy it, take it easy. Life is too short. We got lots of life ahead of us to enjoy and celebrate more of the Valentine. So yes, as it is here, I'm being joined here by the almighty, the great, another great Chelsea fan, and he's more influence on Twitter. He's go by the name Harry. Harry, welcome to the stream.
Hi, how are you?
Not too bad. It's always nice to see you here again, Harry. It's always nice to see you here. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, you're stuck with me on Valentine's Day, so lucky you.
Yeah, I'm very lucky to have you on a Val's Day. I don't really have much doing, but I'm here to still do something that I love doing all the time, which is talking football. So yeah, having you here, it's always a blessing. And I want to say thank you for making it over here on the Val's Day as we talk about setting important topic and things that is going on around our community. So I think that is we've won the World Club Championship, but there's still something it's not going on right. It's not going on right. Our attacking players are not really scoring. I want to ask you, Harry, what is going on? What is the problem? Why is our attacking players not scoring as much goals? Why is Lukaku not being able to gel into our Thomas Tuchel style? What is it?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I thought before the sort of winter break that we had, we turned a bit of a corner. We played quite well against Spurs. Because they were quite tough to break down. In the first half, obviously it was 0-0, and they were sitting quite deep, and you kind of just had that feeling if it got to about 60 minutes, they were going to maybe nick a goal and play on the counter attack. But we did sort of break them through with that Ziyech wonder goal. But yeah, the winter breaks just seems to have set us back. I don't know if it's just a case of taking our eye off the ball, maybe slightly different fixtures. Playing a League One team in Plymouth and then going to Abu Dhabi to play sort of different sides that we're not used to playing. But it's just that consistency. In the league, we're struggling for that sort of consistency. And if you look at our attackers, nobody seems to be head and shoulders above the rest in terms of scoring goals. If you go to Lukaku, as you were just saying, it's one of them. He scored 2 goals, obviously in the Club World Cup, but didn't play particularly well. But ultimately, he's going to be judged on the goals he scores. So if he has 2 terrible performances, but he scores 2 goals in those games, I don't think any of us are going to really care. But as you said, there's a wider issue about certain players maybe not, whether it's Lukaku maybe not helping the team. He seems to go missing in key moments, and players like Hudson-Odoi, they show flashes of good things, and then it's kind of another game where he's ineffective. I just don't think we have enough egos. I think we've got a lot of players that are quite nice players that almost just want to pass. They don't really want to take a shot on, or
Yeah.
maybe just be a bit greedy. Even if you put it into Rose Ed, sometimes you just think, just give it a try. Don't play that extra pass. It's better getting a dodgy deflection than not shooting at all, essentially. But I suppose from the Club World Cup, at least we won the trophy in the end. But as you said, there are quite a few problems still.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure you've really, really rectified that problem. There's quite a lot of problems, and looking at the going into the Club World Cup, not we have so many shots on target, but then they cannot put the ball in the back of the net. That has been a problem from days of Frank Lampard till now. It looks like with also Chelsea have had a very bad history with number 9 strikers that have been in the club and cannot perform, cannot really live up to expectations. I don't know if it's a case and if it's a spell being cast on Chelsea, and how can we break this spell? So now there is a problem with Lukaku. I'm not so sure, but I'm trying to read meanings into that Instagram thing that he put up there. That if it doesn't fit, then don't force it. There's so many ways you can read meanings into that statement alone. And to me, I'm taking that into footballing aspect of it. I'm not sure if you can agree with me. Like if he as a player is not fitting into Thomas Tuchel's style of play, why do you still want to force him to be at the club? One, or why do you still want to force him to play as how would I say a target man if he's not capable of doing it? It could be one way. It could be a whole lot of. It could mean a lot. But then I really disagree, and I don't like the way he put up that statement on Instagram. What's your take on that, Harry?
Yeah, well, as we were saying sort of before we came on air, we even though we don't know if it's a football related message,
Right.
he's not stupid enough. I think he's what 28, 29. He knows that a message like that could be perceived anyway. Whether it's football or personal life, we don't really know. But I think the thing for me that's the big issue with him is, okay, I know he got subbed off the other day, but there does seem to be this reluctance to take him off. There's performances where you go, he's been terrible here, and you might get another player that's been okay who gets subbed off, and you're like, is it a club thing where he's having to be picked, because he's our record signing? Is it? But then I suppose on the flip side, he is our top goal scorer this season, so it's one of them. Even though we think he's been terrible, and he has, let's be honest, he hasn't hit the heights that we
Yeah.
expected.
Hmm.
He's still our goal scorer, so maybe Tuchel sort of sees that as keep you keep your top goal scorer on, which most people, if you watch any team, you go, oh, keep your top goal scorer and you don't sub them off. Funnily enough, I thought the other day, I thought he was terrible. I thought get him off at half time, and then of course he got the goal,
Right.
and then we did actually sub him off, which was ironic. But no, it's a strange one with him. I just feel the way we play, he almost sort of plays like he's handcuffed to the defenders. He doesn't move, and I know he's quite a big bloke, but he isn't slow. He can move a bit more than he does. And I think why we created so many chances last year, and you can see it with Werner when he came on the other day. We just had those attacking players that like to stretch defenders, and obviously we just needed someone to put the ball in the back of the net. But we've sacrificed that movement by having a player that is very good at putting the ball in the back of the net, but then he doesn't have the quality of the other players. So it's almost like we've solved one problem, but we're creating another at the same time.
Yeah, talking about the number of, Lukaku. You said earlier on the number of goals that he's scored for the club, which you said he's the leading goal scorer. But I'm not sure if it has to be included the whole entire competitions. Across Europe, the Premier League, the Community Shield, Carling Cup, whatever competition. But looking at what we have here, Reece James alone have scored 4 goals. So Jorginho have scored 6 goals off from penalty shootout, which we all know that. Silva, defender, have scored 3 goals. Rudiger have scored 2 goals. Alonso have scored a goal, and also Chaloba have scored 2 goals. Bank Chilwell 3 goals, and all these goals are coming from the Premier League. With that, this doesn't include the Champions League records. So I kind of having a problem. The guy worth a lot of money, and it looks like he's still finding it very, very difficult in our team. Summer is coming here very soon. In your perspective, would you expect Chelsea to let him go and bring in a different style of player? Would you? If I should, I'm trying to push you to the corner.
it's difficult, isn't it? Because it's one of them where sometimes in the summer you kind of have a certain name that everyone's linked with. So whether it's Haaland last year, when we signed Diego Costa, he was
Yeah.
kind of the striker that everyone wanted. This time, I don't think there is a standout.
Yeah.
I can't name one off the top of my head. I think, if anything, Brozier at Southampton, obviously he's our player, is probably playing as well as anyone. And, it's very easy to say, because he's scoring goals there, that he's going to fit in. But, I've watched him play a couple of times recently. He does look the real deal. I think it's one of them. Football changes so quickly. I mean, it's only a couple of months ago before that sort of interview came out of Lukaku that he looked like, he turned a corner. He got a goal against Brighton. He was kind of man the match against Aston Villa, and it just felt like, oh, now we've got our striker back from his injury and COVID. We were sorted again. So I'll probably just say give it a month, give it a couple of months, just see how we do. Who's not to say that he might get the winner in the cup final, and then suddenly our outlook might be completely different. But at the moment, I just sort of think, just see how it goes. Just give it 1 or 2 more months. I think if it doesn't really improve and the player makes it clear he's not happy, then we're probably going to have to make a decision, aren't we? Because we don't want to start next season with a striker that simply doesn't want to be here, whether those messages are true or not.
And then going back to what Chris Bentley said, if I mean we are champions of Europe, but then how do we close the gap? We see ourselves to be the champions of world football, but then Man City have really stretched our 16 points gap different. Do you think we can catch up, Harry, in that gap? Do you think we can catch up? Yeah.
Well, definitely not this year. But if you look at it, I think they probably have got. I think last year they might have got 86, 89 points. The season before, like Liverpool, and then we're getting nearly 100 points. So you're talking about roughly sort of 30 to 34 wins a season out of
Yeah.
38 games. It's a ridiculous record. So I think we're going to have to rely on them dropping anyway. They're points totals that have never really been seen before anyway. So I think first of all, you just say, okay, they're a fantastic side. They've got the best manager in the world. I think you'd like to think a lot of our players are going to improve. Because they're all at that age where naturally you'd expect Reece James to improve and Mason Mount to improve, Kai Havertz. I think some of the City players are probably at their prime, so they'll
Hmm.
probably drop off a tiny bit in a couple of years. And obviously, I'm not sure how long Guardiola will stay there. Um, I think we're about. I don't think we're miles off. I always say this. I think we're probably 2 or 3 signings away from actually really competing. But the difference between us and them is just consistency. We're a very good cup side. We win. We could win another cup coming up in a couple of weeks. It's just, do I think this team right now can win, as we were saying, 30 out of 38 games like we did under Conte? And I just think at the minute we've got too many players that probably play well for about 21 or 22. And I think if you look at the stats, I think we do win at the moment, last few seasons, about 22 games. It's just not, it's never going to be enough. So short term, maybe definitely not this year. I think next season will be a push. I think in a couple of years, we should, with the players improving that we've already got, and hopefully a couple of signings, we should be ready to compete for the title. But again, football changes so quickly. Who's to say that we won't, I don't know, really pick up next season? Who's to say that there might be some problems at Man City or Liverpool? You just don't know. But I'd probably say right now, it's probably going to be a couple of years before we can at least say we should be winning the Premier League.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I think it's if Chelsea can be, I mean, if Chelsea have to fight so hard, it won't be anywhere close to Man City. Man City are too good. It's people think that Chelsea haven't tried, and I think that from the style of Thomas Tuchel, his wing back, which is Ben Chilwell, and then also Reece James, those two guys really play much important in his style of play. So once those two guys went down, you could see that it's really affected the team very, very well. And also, remember, Lukaku used to get some good crosses coming from Reece James. Reece James is a guy that is able to keep the ball very well, also very good in midfield. He's very, very much more versatile, and he has legs. He has a pace. But then, as Aspilicueta playing in that position, it's always like you're forcing, you're trying to force Aspi to do something that he cannot do anymore, and you know how good he is. But those two players have really made a big statement that Thomas Tuchel's style really need those good wing backs. Marcus Alonso cannot do it. as and also Aspilicueta cannot do it. But I hope and I believe that next season coming, we might see different players in. As we know, we've been linked with Julius Conde for almost about 2 seasons now, and I still believe I read something today where I also talked to one big guy behind the scenes, and he really assured me that this guy was definitely going to make it to the club. I don't know. Do you really think that Julius Conde is a guy that Chelsea really need, and how close do you think that deal is looking?
I think it's one of those with him. I mean, I'll be honest. I've seen him play a couple of times. Obviously, we played them in the Champions League, and he was in the same group as us. So I've seen a couple of videos of him as well. Um, we're going to lose a defender, whether it's Christensen, Rudiger, or one or two. So we're going to need someone at the end of the day. Um, going back to what you were saying about Alonso and Azpilicueta, you just watched the game the other day, and you just think, or over the Club World Cup in general, you watch them, you think they're just not those type of players. Alonso just hasn't had the legs of a Chilwell. Azpilicueta doesn't either, and I think that's probably what we need to really think about in the summer when it comes to transfers. Is that if we lose a player that has a certain type of profile, so say a Reece James who's quick, he's good at crossing. Let's try and sign a attack-minded wing back. Try and get that similar profile because it almost feels like, as you said, we're shoehorning players into positions. You've
Mhm.
got Malang Sarr, who I still think, I know he's quite
Yeah,
good on the ball, but he's actually a defensive player. Trying to get him to push up and play sort of wing back. It's just trying to fit players into positions because we've got them on the squad sheet. And you can say that with midfield as well. So say
right.
Kante gets injured, you've got Kante, Kovacic, Jorginho. We haven't got another Kante type player. So say you've got Kante out and you bring Jorginho in, it's a completely different profile of player. So we're having to play a different way. Um, no, I think Kunde would be good. I mean, the club rate him highly. So at the end of the day, if they've been scouting him for this long, at least it shows that we have got some scouting going on. As you said, I think that deal will get done, and as long as again Tuchel wants it, which from what I've read he rates him highly anyway, then I'm quite happy with it.
Yeah, I agree. Just a little bit of a Herbert said Aspilicueta is going to Barca, isn't he? Aspilicueta's situation, I feel that Aspi will still be staying with the club. As to me, I feel like Aspi is not going to Barcelona. I don't think Aspilicueta will be going to Barcelona. But it is rumors, but I don't think it's going. I saw Roman Abramovich himself, the cap that people that think is a plastic cap. I saw Roman Abramovich himself, the guy that put so much money in the football club. He was so happy seeing that. I saw him when the goal went in, he was just clapping hands. So like this is the guy that really love football. It is not the other devils from the other side. They are red. They call themselves the Red Devils. I don't know who they are, but they call themselves the Red Devils, which you can't even see the owners of the club even watching their game. But this game, you see, every finals that we play in the Club World Cup, the Super Cup, you see the owner of the club, which is Roman Abramovich. And then I'm always, anytime I go to bed, anytime I pray, say my prayers, I pray to that owner, one of the best owners ever in world football. I mean, he loved the football, he loved the game, he loved his players, and he loved the team. He go all the way down to NHA and the academy and also the health department, supporting everyone. What kind of owner is this? An amazing person. I always thank him for coming to our club at this point in time and helping us. And also, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to a different subject, which will be Harry. I want to be very honest with me. Do you think that our club can really go ahead and challenge Man City for the trophy next season with the same strikers if we don't make any changes?
I don't think any team will next season, to be honest, anyway. But I was thinking this the other day. How many clubs actually need to sign strikers and players? You look at Spurs with Conte. He probably wants about 200 million spent on players. You've got Man United that are still sort of fighting around top four that are going to need to sign someone. You've got obviously ourselves. I think Liverpool will probably just go and spend again. Arsenal need to do something. I know they were like the biggest spenders last summer, but there's so many clubs that you think really need to sign some players. So I I still think City will sign a striker come the summer as well. I don't know who it's going to be, but I still think it would be when Guardiola leaves and maybe a couple of years' time when hopefully our players will improve and City players will sort of drop from their peak that, will compete. But I can't see it next season. I think unless City don't win the Champions League this year and they prioritise that and they have a few injuries, then I just don't see it changing next season, unfortunately.
Let me acknowledge you guys here a little bit. Gunnar, thank you for being here, and also Herbert, you'll be on the show tomorrow. Tomorrow, guys, will be a Man United show, and gonna have a very strong Manchester United fan, by the name Herbert. He's in the chat right now. He will join us here, and then Karen Noble, another great guy. Thank you for being here. Also, I'll go over the messages. Like I said, I'm just acknowledging all of you as I keep highlighting your messages, but I want to acknowledge you too by saying your name, and always it means a lot to have Gerald Mattis, also Gerald Mattis. Thank you for being here, and guys, if you haven't subscribed or you haven't liked the video, don't forget like the video as we're still having fun over here. And I want to tell you all I wish you all a happy Val's Day wherever you are. Enjoy your Val's Day and take it easy. Remember, life is too short. There's so many years ahead of us. We can celebrate more Val's Day. So let's take it easy when we're celebrating it. And also, Vena Iswara, Lugananda. I'm sorry if I can't say your name very well. He said, I think we can, bro. Just need to change the system and maybe a bit of I'm sure he's trying to say work here and there. We have the squad. I think so. That's what he meant to say. Tidarakis, Juro Matisse, what scenario just joined? Okay, this is the personal one. I don't think Abramovich has that patience. With Thomas Tuchel, I think with this Abramovich would definitely have some patience for Thomas Tuchel. Vena said, I don't think Abramovich is the same 20 years ago. He's the same person. He's the same person. He just wants success everywhere he goes. He hasn't changed his philosophy. He leads by his philosophy. If you're a coach, you come to the club, you're not producing the way he wants it, he will show you the exit. Because every coach that comes to the club knows the way the club is being managed. If you can't produce, it's the same way. It's the same thing that what's his name is also trying to do. The Wolves, I think the Wolves, Wolverhampton Wanderers team are also trying to go through the same process. Wolves, if you don't perform, they're taking the same trend as Roman Abramovich is doing. It's working for him. So Wolves are also doing the same thing. If you don't produce, if you don't perform, they'll show you the exit to bring another person in to come and perform. And that is what we're seeing. See how Wolves are playing. They're playing very well because the coach knows if he doesn't perform, he will be gone. Back in the days where a coach can be there for 15 years, 10 years, it's no more. That kind of loyalty is no more in football. Even players don't have that loyalty in football anymore. He can score a goal, bring out the badge and kiss it. And then the following season, he's off to Barcelona. He'll score a goal for Barcelona and do the same thing. So where is the loyalty? It's not there anymore. We have to understand it is football. Now everything has to be based on money, business. As clubs are doing business, players are also doing business. If it's not business, why do you think Rudiger would not just sit down and take $100,000 for a week? He would have taken it, but then he has to think about his family. He needs money. That is why he's fighting for more money for himself. And we know, I know that Rudiger really deserved that money. So smash the like button, people, for that's coming from Aguna. Joel Matit said we need to be more aggressive. Read my comment above. I'll read it. I'll go back right away and read it. Guna, I'll read the comment right away. We cannot win any game with Kalemos Nodoy in left wing back. Oh, geez, it's something. I'll address that comment. I'll address it too. Let me go up a little bit. The comments I keep coming, so let me go up and see what Gunnar read. Gunnar said, hey guys, he says, congrats on the beautiful trophy once again. So tired of you guys winning trophies. Sorry, Gunnar. Sorry, Gunnar. Sorry, Gunnar. I'm very sorry it happened this way, but yeah, it's not our making. We try. It's not our making. Um, Gunnar said that it says, love the t-shirt, my brother. Thank you very much. Yeah, I try to go a little bit much more brighter. You know. Thank you, thank you. Um, this is from Herbert. Herbert said, I think Chelsea should pack the Club World Cup celebration and focus on closing the 16-point lead of Man City in summer. It is going to be very difficult, Herbert. It is going to be very, very difficult. Karen Noble said Eden Hazard. I'm not sure what you mean by Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard coming back? Is that what you mean? I don't think Hazard is coming back. If Hazard come back, although it's football, a lot of people might see that to be a failure on the side of Hazard. Even though he's still with the club, it looks like it's failure already because he hasn't lived up to expectations. He spent so much time on the bench than he has played for the club. And then, he was being bought from Chelsea with a huge amount of money. And he has to pay Real Madrid fans back. Herbert said that Chelsea good. They are good cup team, but not a league team yet. Absolutely, I agree with you, Herbert. I agree with you. There are two of these messages that I'll let Harry. Harry, what do you make of that statement? Um, Coming for Harry, what do you make of that statement?
About being a good cup
A
team.
cup team, but not a league team.
Yeah, to be honest, we have been historically anyway a good cup team. Even when we were winning the league, if you look through the years, how many seasons have we been trophyless? Really, I'd probably say one of our probably biggest disappointments is that we haven't won more league trophies, particularly in the sort of early days of Roman Abramovich. I think I don't know if it's about 2007 to about 2010, they won 3 Premier Leagues in a row.
Mhm.
So in that time, we picked up, FA Cups, League Cups, and we've always been a good cup team, and I think that's probably why we're so successful anyway. If you look at the amount of trophies we've won, and now we've completed the set, it's because we don't say, "Oh, the League Cup doesn't matter." We're in the final again coming up, and I looked actually at a stat the other day with Liverpool, and I don't think they've won the FA Cup since 2006. And how many times have we been in finals in recent years? I
Yeah.
think a lot of that is actually testament to the fact we do prioritise every competition. But yeah, we just at the moment we just don't have the consistency to win leagues. As we were saying earlier, we're going to need to go from winning 21, 22 games a season to winning 30 like we did under Conte. I'm not saying it's impossible next season. I know we were saying it's unlikely, which I think we probably all agree it is unlikely. Um, but we're relying on players to start developing that little bit more. We need Mason Mount, Kai Havertz to go up another level. We need Lukaku if he's going to stay to start scoring some more goals. So, it's not that it's impossible, but it does just feel we're a good cup side at the minute because we prioritise every competition as opposed to some clubs that I think just see it as a chance to play some academy players and rest their key players.
So what do you make of the other statement that we cannot win any game with Kalamos Nodoy? What do you make of Kalamos Nodoy?
Do you know, I kind of find him frustrating because, I remember when, again, Tuchel came in, he was probably one of the players that was getting more minutes than anyone. He was actually, I want to say in the first game, I think he played wing back and Reece James was on the bench. So,
Right.
I know he's really rated in Germany, which is probably why Tuchel sort of liked him in the first place. Um, he's gone backwards for me. I don't know if it's injuries, playing out of position, whatever you want to say. Maybe the fact he's not decided his international career. I just think he's, as we were saying earlier, he's one of those players that's a nice player. Can do all the nice tricks and he. I don't know if the injuries let him down, but he doesn't take players on like he used to. And I just think the big problem with him is he's not greedy enough. I've
Yeah.
seen enough YouTube
Yeah.
videos and training videos to see
Mhm.
that he can strike a ball and hit the top corner, and as all the players can. But when it actually comes to a game, there was an example. I think it was against Brighton at home. And I know it was a handball, but I remember he tried to square it to someone, and he didn't go himself. And everyone was in the crowd. There was this big sigh, like, "Why are you not trying to score yourself?" Um, I think it's a personality thing with him. I just think he needs to think, I'm going to score 12 goals this season. Next season, I'm going to score 16 goals. And, it's not that all our attacking players, they all have the ability to score goals, which, that's why we see that. I don't think we've got a player where we can go, if you man mark him like Eden Hazard,
Right.
stop us from playing. It's just you want one of those players to say, no, I'm not going to play an extra pass. I'm going to shoot because you just don't know. It could be a funny deflected goal. You could win a corner. We could score from a corner. We almost just sort of go to the wings, and then if there's nothing on in the box, we pass backwards, and we end up going back to Mendy. With Hudson-Odoi, it's one of them. I don't think he's the problem. He's just part of the problem, and that's, as we were saying earlier, that is the issue. We've got so many attackers
Right.
that are kind of new stage.
So many attackers, but then that is the problem now. Attackers are not scoring. They're not banging in the goals. And then it looks like Hudson-Odoi has the same features, a little bit better than Timo Werner. With all the goals that Timo Werner have scored in the German Bundesliga, we could still see the difference that Callum is trying to take a man on, but Timo Werner doesn't do that at all. He's finding it very difficult and takes the ball to the left side most of the time. Let me read this is from Stav. Stav said we have to allow 25 players plus Callum Hudson-Odoi as under 21. Which I think that's by the FA officials. And this is Gunnar. Gunnar said, but it's not working. He wants the Premier League. He wants the Premier League, and you guys are not even close when you should be. If you lose the final on Saturday, the pressure would have been on Tuchel immediately. On the undeservedly from Roman. I don't think if Tuchel have lost the Club World Cup, it would have been a big, chaos. Because looking at the guy have been, Thomas Tuchel has been in the club for just a little couple months after a year. He's been in the club in a year and just about 2 months or 1 month. Just that he's won all this trophy, so that is a plus for Thomas Tuchel himself. So let's see what Werner said, what's it say? Werner said, I think this manager will be with us more than 5 years. Mark my words. That would be nice. Means that then I can say that I wouldn't even say it's not the same Abramovich. It will be the same Abramovich, but then probably when you are producing, he will keep you. He will keep you at the club if you're producing. That's his philosophy. You produce, win trophies, win games, transform the club. Because the main idea of Roman Abramovich was for Chelsea to play nice football, attractive football. That is why he keeps changing and bringing in different coaches. But unfortunately for us, the coaches that have been coming in are all pragmatic coaches. We're very unlucky. We've having a very pragmatic coaches, and it's not his fault. Pragmatic coaches will not play that kind of a sexy football and a more attractive football as he expected. So he keep changing them, and then finally, as they said, they have Thomas Tuchel on their radar for a long time. So as soon as he was being sacked from PSG, they know they have their man. This is the guy that can do the job. So like I said, I've read. I think this manager, I've read that one. We need a striker with attributes like Costa. What do you make of that, Harry?
We do, but again, finding a Diego Costa is pretty difficult. He was probably almost our best striker in the Abramovich era, other than Drogba. It's Diego Costa's a free agent at the minute, so we can just sign Diego Costa if you want. But I don't know. I think Broja could do that. From what I've seen of him, he's got that sort of similar physique. I don't think he has the aggression like a Diego Costa, but maybe that's a good thing. We don't want a player that, I look back to Diego Costa now, and you think VAR wasn't a thing then. Can you imagine how many red cards he might have got, particularly in today's game? I don't actually think, unless I'm wrong, I don't think he got a red card for Chelsea. So you probably look back now and say, if Diego Costa played for us now, everyone would be going, he's a liability. A great striker, but a liability, because VAR would have probably sent him off about 100 times by now.
I know. You're right. Gerald Martin said that we can make this is big up from Mikhail. Mikhail said big up to Stav and big up to Nizion. Thank you, Mikhail, for being here, brother. It's always a pleasure. I hope you're enjoying your Valentine's Day. Take the family home. Take the family out. Let them enjoy one of those days, or just be in the house and be yourself. Watch some nice movies. There's some nice movies on Netflix. Let's enjoy some Netflix movies. Val's Day, guys. Remember, take it easy. Take it easy. There are so many years coming ahead of us that we can enjoy more Valentine's Day. Joel Matip said we can make a statement by beating Liverpool in the finals. Wow, that would be nice. Liverpool, we're not scared of Liverpool. We have their numbers. We haven't really won against them. We've had 2 draws. So yeah, there's a way that we can beat Liverpool to make a statement. I agree with you. Werner said UCL is the biggest trophy, not the Premier League. As he said who said Thomas Tuchel? I mean, Roman Abramovich won the Premier League. He wants the Champions League trophy. And I agree with you. Everyone wants the Champions League trophy. Mikhail said UEFA Champions League, UEFA Super Cup, FIFA Club World Cup, International Treble done 2021. Thank you very much. State zip up. Zoom. No one says anything. Mikhail have said it all. Staff said Rudiger deserve what the club can afford. They have offered him 200k, 10 million a year. How much does he need? And I'm sure they have definitely come to an agreement, and that agreement will we'll hear that very soon in the summer. Rudiger is not going anywhere, because one thing that Rudiger have to realize, as Thomas Tuchel said, the condition around the bridge, the condition at Chelsea is what making Rudiger plays very well. The players that he plays with see him as a senior player, and they give him so much respect. Hereby, Rudiger, when you move away from Chelsea and you go to maybe Real Madrid, maybe PSG, or maybe Bayern Munich, remember, they have players that are way bigger than you, and they wouldn't see you as a senior guy in the team. You get what I'm saying? It's just like Eden Hazard. When Eden Hazard was at Chelsea, everyone gets the ball. He's looking for Eden Hazard to give the ball to him, for Hazard to do something. So I believe it's the same way. The condition, as Thomas Tuchel said, the condition that he found himself is what is making him a good player. We know what he was before, and the Frank Lampard, which he couldn't really diagnose how to use Rudiger. But then we see Rudiger today. He's playing very well. So he has to understand that one way or the other, Chelsea have made him a great player. Werner said one more UCL, and we on level with the graffiti. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Graffiti, thank you for subscribing to the channel. He said Werner, he said one more UCL, and we are on a level with Man United. 2 more, and we are more than Man United. 3 more, and we are on level with Liverpool. 4 more, we are on the best team in England. Absolutely, very close. Not even the Gunners. The Gunner and the Gunners are not even anywhere close to us. Armando Broja is open to all possible options this summer. That is coming from the Express Sports. Broja is coming to the Arsenal. Broja is not going to Arsenal. Broja still has a chance. Tuchel is going to use Broja at the preseason and see how he's going to use. The guy is very strong. What do you make? I'm going to come back to the chat or the comments. Harry, what do you make of Armando Broja? You saw many of his game. I saw the game that he recently played. What do you make of him? Do you think the guy is ready?
I think he's ready. I mean, he's at the end of the day, he's full of confidence, isn't he? You know, I know people say it's been one season and is at Southampton compared to Chelsea. I want to say he's only scored 1 more league goal than Lukaku, which, you know, he's obviously would have to score a lot more playing for Chelsea than that. But if you actually watch the way he plays, you know, he's a hard worker. He runs a lot. You know, he moves defenders. He's not afraid to shoot, which again is something that we're saying all our attacking players have a problem with. I still feel like even with him though, let's say Lukaku left for under whatever circumstance, you know, we're still going to need to sign someone. And I think the problem with him is he probably wants to play now. If he's scoring all these goals, and let's say the Arsenal rumours are true that they want him, I think Newcastle were linked with him, and I think obviously Southampton would take him as well. You probably sort of think, I'd rather leave actually, because I'm only going to play half the games when Lukaku's there, you know, and it's probably going to be mainly cup competition. So he'll have a decision to make. I personally, I would give him a go next season. You know, we've been saying we're a great cup team, and there's going to be plenty of games for him to play in, whether it is the league or the cup. And you know, if we've got ambitions of trying to win everything, as we're saying Abramovich has got that ambition to win everything. I think Tuchel probably wants to win everything as well next season. You know, he's going to get plenty of minutes. It's just whether he now has that feeling that he wants to be the main man because at Southampton at the minute he is the guy that they all look to, and if like Danny Ings used to be there, if Southampton win, it's normally because he's on the score sheet or he's man the match.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, the Bruja is looking like it's getting very close. He is very. I mean, he's getting very close. So for Tuchel's call up, we will see more of Bruja in the preseason, somewhere in the summer. So guys, I'm trying to as much as I can to go through all the messages I've seen at Blue Lounge, more from my Blue Lounge YouTube channel. Another great Chelsea content creator. If you haven't seen him, my guy is over there. Let me highlight him and look at his logo. You can pay him a visit. You love him. You love him. It's an absolutely great content creator, Chelsea content creator. So if you haven't visit him, try as much as you can and visit Blue Lounge channel on YouTube. A great guy. He shot me out so many times. He's done a lot for me. So when I see him here, I have to try as much as I can also to acknowledge him and make sure he's also welcome at all time. So yeah, I'm trying as much as I can to go through messages that some are personal ones. I skip those ones. I just highlight them and I skip them. So don't think I'm skipping your messages. If it's a little bit like more personal, I'll just skip it because Harry also is getting late for Harry to probably enjoy some of his Valentine before it gets too late. So huh, Harry? What do you say?
Nobody better to spend it with than you.
Oh, thank you. It really means a lot to me. I appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Stout said that he does what we want him to do. I'm not sure who he's talking about. Probably his previous statement from what I said earlier on. So I'm not sure what Stout is saying. He does what we want him. Probably he's talking about Rudiger. I'm very sure it might be Rudiger. So yeah, Mikhail said Bruja, Gallagher, Cowell need to be in CFC first team squad next season. Yes, there's going to be a lot of players that will be going out. I think maybe, which for sure we will see Barkley. Barkley will be going out. For sure we might see Alonso going. Alonso is a tricky one. The time that we all think Alonso is going, that's when he gets a new contract. So Alonso guy is a very tricky guy. You can't underestimate Alonso. So guys, if you think Alonso should go, just pray to God that Alonso will go and someone else will come in because that guy always have luck on his side. Gunnar said you guys were open to sell us Tommy last summer and you think they will reject a bid for Bruja. I think this is to stop. You guys don't want him, Lil. Oh yeah, I agree. But we will not sell our young talent to a rival team like Arsenal. We won't do that. We won't do that. That's why they sold him to AS Roma. If he wants to come back to the Premier League, he's open. Chelsea will be his first team that he wants to come to. Let's not underestimate the system holding back attacking players. What do you make of that? The system is holding back attack. That comment need some kind of attention. Do you think the system is holding back attacking players because we're playing with a back three? Also, I know we've playing so many games with a back four. What do you make of this statement coming from Stav?
Again, I don't think it's the system because again, at the end of the day, you look back to last year, and we were creating so many chances with this system, and the only real change has been that Lukaku's arrived. And we signed him because we were creating so many chances, and we just needed someone to put the ball in the back of the net. I don't think the system's a problem. I think you look at some of the records that Tuchel set defensively, we were unstoppable at the start of the year. I know we've leaked a few wins, which is understandable. But we've been really solid with a back three, and players like Sarr and Chalabar, they've come in and they've slotted into that system really well. I wouldn't change too much with the way we're set up. I think once we have those wing backs back that bomb forward and they can get back at pace as well, we're going to look pretty solid at the back still, and we're still going to look good going forward. I think it's just one of those where we've got to see if Lukaku is going to really fit into what we want to do. I don't think we need to change everything to accommodate him. I can understand against Spurs we went into a sort of back four, and That worked for those games. But I still think if you look at the players we've got, when everyone's fit, the system that Tuchel's been playing, with the wing backs, I still think it's the right way. At the end of the day, we were the champions of Europe with it, with I think 4 goals we conceded in the whole competition. So
Yeah.
I don't think there's too much wrong with it. It's just sometimes you just got to accept that maybe certain days we're just not good enough. As we were saying earlier, I think we've got young players that just aren't consistent. I don't think it's a system fault. I think it's just sometimes personnel. And as I said, players like Pulisic and that who have been playing in wing back positions. Yes, maybe we're better off changing the system, but I'd much rather stick with a system that everyone's comfortable in than start changing things now, sort of midway through the season, just because we're not
Yeah.
getting the best out of the players.
Yeah, shout out to Fairboy. Fairboy, I'm very sorry. I think I could not hear your voice coming through. I'm not sure if it's the server muted you or maybe from your side, but it looks like probably earlier on in previous stream you were being muted, so and your voice couldn't come through. But anyway, it was a special guest on the scene, so I wasn't adding any more panel members. It was just me and Harry. So yeah, sorry about that, Fairboy. Harris, Mikhail said big up to Stav. Yeah, I think I've read that one. Stav said that we want to be going to Arsenal. He won't. I think he won't be going to Arsenal. He's a Chelsea fan. That's what his staff just said. Big up to me. I think I've read those ones earlier on. Gerald said, Harry, if Pep had its Chelsea team, has this Chelsea team, he could have won all the games. I don't know about that, but Pep Guardiola is playing without a recognized striker. He's playing with a false nine, and he's playing very, very well. What do you agree with this statement coming from Gerald here? He said if Pep has has Chelsea team, he would have won the whole competition. What do you think of that?
No, I don't think so either, to be honest. But you've got to remember when he actually went to Man City. I think they finished fourth in their first season, and then they went and spent about 50 million on Carl Walker, and then 50 million on some other defenders. They spent a lot of money on wing backs, and he got the goalkeepers in. He got rid of Joe Hart. So I think what Guardiola's very good at is he's got a very clear idea of the profile of player he wants.
Right.
When he went into Man City, they pretty much said, "We'll back you," and they've got the ability to sign whoever they like, because they've got all the money. I don't think he'd like a Marcus Alonso playing, which we haven't had much choice at the minute. I think he's with the players we've currently got. No, I don't think he would, but he's still a top manager at the end of the day. He'd still get top 2, top 3, but. If there was someone else like, let's say you put Klopp at Man City with that team, they've probably still got the better players, and the manager's not going to make that much of a difference to really say Chelsea are going to finish above Man City.
I agree with you. In this way, the way you frame it means that Pep, there was so much money that was being pumped into the club to be able to get Pep Guardiola that success, and it looks like he's getting him somewhere. But I like the way he really molds the players, transforms certain players like Raheem Sterling, who was not scoring that many goals at Liverpool. But now Raheem Sterling has been I think the second, or maybe there are only two players that have scored more goals besides Lionel Messi under Pep Guardiola's team. Messi is the one that scored more goals at the days of Barcelona when Pep Guardiola was with Barcelona. As of now, Raheem Sterling is scoring more goals. And also, Kuma Aguero also have scored more goals. They're on the same point right now. So I could tell that Pep Guardiola is doing something really good at Man City. Also, Tuchel is also doing something great. So let's appreciate whatever they're all doing, and all players are different. Tuchel sees different players to play different way. Pep Guardiola might see different players that can play different way depending on his philosophy. Our philosophy is a bit different. His philosophy is more keeping the ball. We want to use our wingers more than he does with his team. So there are two different styles, two different managers, different philosophy. We have to understand that way. So it doesn't mean that the fact that he's good at Man City, when he comes over to Chelsea, he will perform the same way. Why do you think he shy away from Chelsea job? He was scared. He said Chelsea job is a job that he would never take. That statement is right there. He's scared of it. If he's a man, he should come over. If he wants to prove to the whole world that he's a coach, he should come over to Chelsea and prove to the world. We're not going to spend millions and millions on unnecessary players that cannot play for the team. You know, if you bring the players, then you have to make sure they do the job. If they don't do the job, they stay with the club and they'll kick you away. So that is how it goes. Staff said, Mo, we are playing ugly and not winning. Oh, most. What about this? It's big up me. If we play ugly and win ugly, it's fine. What do you make of that?
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, I don't know if you remember that when Jose Mourinho won the Premier League when he came back.
Yeah.
We were absolutely in those last few months, and I
Yeah.
remember we beat United when Van Gaal was the manager, and Hazard scored, and we won 1-0 at Stamford Bridge. And I mean, I might be wrong. It was about 29% possession we had, but at the end of the day, we won. You know, it's the points are ultimately what matter at the end of the day. I'm not, we didn't play well the other day, but I haven't seen anything online or anything from Chelsea fans that go, we were dreadful in the Club World Cup final, but we won it. We won it. Nobody really will remember how we played at the end of the day. As long as you go into the game, you can win ugly. You can chant boring Chelsea. You can do whatever. It doesn't really bother me.
I remember that reminds me of the time that we played Liverpool. If you can remember, we played Liverpool at the I think Anfield, and we didn't play. We played almost about 20% of the game. That was when Steven Gerrard slipped and lost the title. If you can remember, so
never forget.
Oh my days, Jose Mourinho always have memories in the brains of Chelsea fans. Big up to Blue Lunch coming from Mikael. Sap said, okay, Chelsea fans, don't move to London. Rivals. Gunnar said Chelsea and Arsenal have a very good relationship in terms of transfers. Although if you haven't realized yet, we sell players to each other all the time. It's coming from staff. I understand. You guys sell players at the wrong time, and we also give you guys players at the right time when they're about to retire. I don't know why you guys do that. When the players like Ashley Cole, who was on top form, you guys couldn't give him that money and keep him at the club. But then what? He moved from Arsenal. He came to Chelsea. He won the Champions League. You get what I mean? So many players have moved from your club. We send you players to retire. Players like William, players like Petr Cech, players like David Luiz. They go to Arsenal to go and retire. End of the football. Where are they? You don't see them in the world class team anymore. They go to retirement teams. So from Arsenal, they go down to hell. So that's what we do. But I'm to be honest with you, I'll put all banter aside. Arsenal and Chelsea have a very good relationship concerning player transfer. You guys have really done us good over the years by giving us some good players that has really helped Chelsea get to different levels. So yeah, I acknowledge that. Thank you very much, Gunnar. You guys have done a good job, but not a good job. And if I'm Arsenal fan, I wouldn't be happy if our player get to that level and you guys will sell those players and then go and bring in new players. It tells you the philosophy and the idea of how Arsenal football club has been. You're not really fighting for the trophies. You're okay with FA Cup. But Chelsea always keep thinking of the big trophies, like the Europa League, the Champions League, the World Club. These are the trophies that Chelsea is always thinking about. We're not okay. We don't feel okay if we don't win a single trophy a season. That is what we're always fighting for. Remember, if the coach comes in, he doesn't win a single trophy, he gets sacked. So Tuchel has won too much to stay in the club for even 3 years. And I stamped my feet down. I believe that is going to happen. What do we have here? Chelsea and Arsenal. Okay, I've read that one. Neil, why are you discussing Bayern and Madrid? They pull out at yeah, I understand. I'm trying to make a reference to earlier on was where Rudiger was going to go to. I was making reference. Sorry, my brother, joined in super late, so busy at work, but wanted to stop by and say hi to everyone and wish you all a happy Valentine. That's nice of you. I123 love you. Another great supporter of this channel. Um, this one is not giving me time to click on it, so stav your message here to Guna. It won't give me a chance to click on it to highlight it, so I have to skip that one. You guys never land. Oh, really? He says we never land. Chelsea is known for this this Salah, and then Salah. You're talking about Salah. Salah, I understand that we let him go, but Kevin De Bruyne, it was his own wish. I'll let you know it was his own wish that he wanted to leave, so they have to let him go. I'm trying to find a message that I can give to Harry. What is the big deal? You can have more than one striker. Drogba, Crespo, um, Johnson, and Kalu, all four at the same time. Yeah, we can have all four at the same time. But as of now, all the attacking, I'm not sure they are strikers though. We have wingers which are in attacking form, but then we're not getting that many goals from them. Some of them hasn't played that much for us to justify. But when they also get a chance to play, they cannot do the job. So I'm not really sure. What do you make of this from staff? Having four strikers. So it means that we can have Timo Werner, we can have Lukaku, we can have Armando Broja, and then who else? Who else can we have? That would be three, right? Three strikers.
Do a bit of Kai Havertz up front, but
Kai Havertz is a false nine.
yeah, I mean, it's one of them, isn't it? It's not so much that we can't have four strikers, but ultimately, you'd like to think that these players first of all want to actually play. And I don't really think Kai Havertz is a striker, as we were saying, false nine. You know, if we're going to play, say, 4-4-2, let's just say, for example, we play two strikers up front, then you could maybe justify having four strikers because, you know, you might want to back up for each striker. But at the moment, we basically play with one striker and, you know, a load of sort of attacking players around them. Just from the point of view with Brozier, I just don't think right now, if he's been playing every week in the Premier League, which he is, I just don't think he'll want to come back and just say, I'll be number two to Lukaku. You know, unless he really fancies himself, there's a possibility that he can prove himself and play over him. Then yeah, maybe so. But I still think if he's still here next season, Lukaku, and you've spent 100 million on him, I still just got this feeling he's going to be, and rightly so. You know, let's not forget he is still one of the best strikers in the world. You know, I know he hasn't done it for us, but you know, you expect the club probably will pick him over an academy prospect, whether we want it or not.
Yeah. Staff said in fact we big up to you on Sports Wire. VJ says Neat, have fun. Thank you, brother. Hope you're enjoying your Val's Day. I'm not sure if you do celebrate Val's Day. Some people don't. Some do. Yeah. But then yeah, Val's Day is a day that we show love to people. So yeah, mom and dad show love. If you haven't talked to your mom and dad in a long time, pay a visit to them tonight and give them a hug. They'll be very happy. We had Chilwell and James when we lost to City, and many of draws. I think he's trying to say that we have Ben Chilwell, we have Reece James when we lost to City, and then so many draws. Yeah, I understand stuff. You know, there's no way we can win all our games in a way. But then I know what you're driving at. That okay, everybody's trying to say that the reason why we're losing so many games has to do with our two players, our wing backs that are missing, or maybe our wingers that are missing, which is Reece James and Ben Chilwell. But you're trying to say that okay, well if that is the issue, Ben Chilwell and Reece James were into the game that we lost against City, but and then also other games that we draw. I understand. But then you have to remember that when Tuchel came in, those guys were playing very, very well. We're keeping clean sheet after clean sheet, and they were contributing lots of goals. Ben Chilwell had 3 goals already in the Premier League, 1 goal in the Champions League, I think. So if those players were still there, imagine where it would have taken us. If imagine where we would have been in point wise on the Premier League. Just because we won the UCL with those not doesn't mean the right one for the EPL. They're the right one. You said just the fact that we won the Champions League with those players doesn't mean that they're the right players for the EPL. You could be right, you could be wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I say you could be right, you could be wrong. Pep plays with a false nine, but two wingers playing wide with midfielders pushing behind the false nine. Absolutely, we've seen that happen with our team before. Harry, you can come in. You can kind of help me out here with this. There are so many times that we've seen Tuchel plays with the false nine, and when it plays with the false nine, we see lots of movements in our 18. We see there are so many movements, we create so many chances. But anytime we play with a target man or Lukaku in there, it's like he's so predictable in the sense that they know what Lukaku is about to do next. So they don't really either they see all the movement and he cannot do much with it. What do you think? What's the problem here?
Well, again, just quickly going back to City as well. Of course, don't forget they wanted Harry Kane in the summer, and they eventually thought we can't get him, and they've kind of stuck with what they've got and have been
Right.
playing that system for a reason. Um, yeah, I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? Because I thought Giroud was actually all right under Tuchel. He didn't really fancy him, that much, but he wasn't dreadful when he played under him. It's not that we can't play with a target man. Again, we go back to the start of the season. You got Lukaku scoring on his debut against Arsenal. You got him scoring those goals against Villa. It just feels like there's no chemistry there from the attacking players to him. And the only thing I'll defend him on is I have seen a few situations with Lukaku where he's actually made a really good run, and it's just the player who's on the ball for some reason doesn't want to play that risky pass because,
Okay.
safer pass out wide where there's no defender marking, say Hudson-Odoi. And I just think sometimes I always go back to that one goal against Aston Villa where he, at home, the first goal he scored, it was Kovacic. He played a really early ball to him, cut straight through the defence, and Lukaku sort of cut inside and scored. And you can always see, really, Lukaku's game is basically stand by the defender. Once we get the ball, he's then going to get ready to run. Whereas we kind of want to pass it around the side, move a few defenders, and then bring our midfielders in. It's just, it's difficult. It's one of them. There's no right or wrong way. It's not that we can't play with a target man at the end of the day. It's just there's got to be a bit more chemistry, and we've seen it with certain players with Lukaku. But I think Ziyech has got quite good chemistry with him. I think at the start of the season, Mount and Kovacic do. But it's just trying to work out those sort of relationships between certain players. And I think if we can do that, we'll be fine. But again, that's worked against us because of the amount of injuries we've had. We've had so many players injured that we haven't had what I'd call a starting 11 that anyone could write down and say, this is the starting 11 for Chelsea. I think every time the team news comes out, let's be honest, we're all guessing and none of us seem to get it right. So, it's just, I always say of Lukaku, let's just wait and see. I don't think it's a case of he's a target man and, we can't get the best out of him and we have to play a false nine. It's just we need to work out a way of playing him where, we can still create a lot of chances. We can get plenty of movement from our wing players. And as I said, just find a connection between Lukaku and those players where, he can score a few himself.
I think Stav is trying to fight with me over here. I don't know what I did wrong, but Stav, please take it easy with me. Please, please, please. Let's take it easy. It's Val's Day. Let's take it smoothly. No fight over here. He said Lamptey finished his youth contract and refused to sign a pro. He chose to leave. We got a 5 million training fee, not transfer fee. Okay. It's a training fee, not transfer fee. Okay. Well, I'll say Lamptey doesn't want to stay at the club and then compete with, because Lamptey, that position he has to fight with. I think Tino Livermorento or whatever his name is. Tino Livermorento is going to be Lamptey and then also Reece James. If Harry, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Were there 3 players fighting for the same position? Is that what it is?
You're right.
So
that's what it was.
Stop. There was no way Lamptey was going to win, and then even Livermorento was going to win over Reece James. Reece James' credentials, Reece James' statistics were way too high for those 2 players. So the best thing for them to do is just move on. If Chelsea want them back in the future, they're definitely going to come back here because the academy is what gives them that platform to become who they are right now. So I'm sure they would never say no if Chelsea wants them. But it's keeping those players at the team I'll say it wouldn't be nice because you're killing the player's career by sitting on the bench and not playing. But then no one knows what was going to happen. If Livermento have stayed, he would have been the guy in charge. Was Reece James is injured right now. He would have been playing with Aspilicueta in that position. But then he said he's not going to stay. You can't force him. I'm not sure you can force him. Stav said, he says, need BS. Mate, the wingers are playing as wing back or tens. I think I'm not sure what that means. They are not playing as wingers. I understand. They're not playing as wingers, but then they join attack. That is his style. That's his philosophy. Can you explain a little bit to and educate me and some of our viewers in the chat? The system.
Yeah, I mean,
If you understand the system, how does it go?
I think what we're getting at there is that right now, would he play for us if he was still at Chelsea? And yeah,
Yeah.
Lamptey would. But again, when he left us, this was under Lampard. We were playing first of all a different system where we were playing, just left and right backs, not wing backs. And also, it's just we've been so unfortunate the amount of injuries we've had. So yeah, of course, he would have been playing Lamptey, Livramento, if they were both here during this period, because they're probably better than what we've got right now. But you know, we were saying this with Brozier earlier. At the end of the day, these players want to, you'd like to think they want to go and play. And I don't really want players at Chelsea that are quite happy just sitting on the bench. We've had a few of them. I feel like Kennedy's a little bit like that now. He's come back. He almost was enjoying the celebrations the other day more than some of the players that have actually been involved. And even Emerson, for example. Emerson, we had three sort of left back wing backs. At the start of the year, and I felt Emerson last year was always quite happy to be on the bench. It never felt like he was ever unhappy. And while that's good in a sense that there's no dressing room unrest and players are unhappy,
Right.
on the flip side, you almost feel like if you're a player that's a winner, which is what we want at Chelsea, at the end of the day, we want to have players that want to win trophies, which we do. You want a bit of I'm not happy, I'm not playing. So I've got no issue with players like Lamptey leaving. At the end of the day, if they want to go and be successful elsewhere because they know they're not going to play, they can't wait until Reece James is injured or hoping he's going to be injured or a new manager comes in before they get their opportunity. So no, that's how I see it anyway.
Yeah, thank you, Harry, for explaining that to us. Staff said, they are not playing naturally. I understand they're not playing naturally, but Reece James should have been very. It's depending on the system. Reece James hasn't been around. I'm not sure if Reece James has been around since we started playing in the back four. Excuse me, in the back four formation, but I'm sure that Thomas Tuchel has played a back four formation, and it looks like Chelsea are looking good. So now we have plan A and plan B. Should in case that he has to change things, we know how to play. He's tried that in the cup competition and has worked very well. But I don't know why he went back to the back. Look, sometimes we don't understand the gaffer. We don't understand Thomas Tuchel very well. But then from the Club World Cup competition, the finals, that made me realize that this guy is a real tactician. He reads the game very well, because I quite remember I made a review on this on the World Club finals, and then the players that we put in, and then I listened to other channels also, the players that they put in as their starting 11. It was never anywhere close to what Thomas Tuchel put up there. So that should tell you that he reads the opponent and knows what the opponents are all about. And he also set his team a little bit pragmatic, but then he knows what he's doing. So sometimes you have to see Thomas Tuchel and understand, because I'm a layman. I see something different from what Thomas Tuchel sees. He's learned the game. He's a student of the game. He knows much more better than we know. But then we are just using the eye test. So, it's very late. We've done 1 hour 9 minutes of streaming. Harry has to go and join the rest. But guys, don't forget, we're gonna have you don't have to be a Manchester United fan to be able to tune in. You're a Chelsea fan, remember, tune in tomorrow, same time. We're gonna have a Manchester United fan on the platform, and he's gonna tell us the inside out, the very close source who live in Manchester coming over here. He's gonna let us know what is going on, if it's Ralph Ranick or is it Ronaldo. Or is it the culture, or is it certain players at the club So do not forget, tune in for that conversation. Let's all educate ourselves. Let's all have fun when we listen. You don't have to be, like I said. Look, the platform. I put my platform up. I'm gonna take my time and read all your messages as it comes in. I'm also trying to make sure my guests also have time to flow, just like I sent in there, so he can flow and you all can listen to what he's saying. Because I made him talk, and then I spent some time also reading your messages as they come in. I think I have one more. Siraki, staff, I want to say thank you very much. Say, people don't know you, but I know you very well, and I've seen you very, very well. This man here has worked at a bridge before. He's the old, pioneers. I'll say the pioneers of Stamford Bridge. He knows inside out of Stamford Bridge very well. He's worked at Stamford Bridge for many, many years. So yeah, I always acknowledge him. I want to thank him for spending so much time with me, and then with Harry also. I want to thank Harry also for coming on. Let me read this last message before we call it a quit. Lamptey and Livramento were out of contract. Broja is on a 5-year senior deal. I didn't say I didn't say keep Livramento or Lamptey. Is it that hard to understand? It is not hard to understand, and I did not say that you said I should keep it. It was just my own way of trying to explain certain things that I've gone through or some of our academy players. I didn't say you said that. And to be honest with you, I didn't read anywhere that states you said that. With all due respect, staff, I didn't say that. So it's all nice today. It's beautiful day. Beautiful whatever you guys. It's very cold over here. About 3 inches of snow everywhere. Still snowing here in Michigan, to be precise. That's where I'm coming from. So I want to thank you all. Harry, thank you very much.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
How do you end the stream? What do you want to say before we end the stream? Conclude it.
We'll finish on Abramovich then, because I know a few people earlier were saying that Tuchel would be sacked if we don't win certain things. But I was just having a thought of the previous managers we've had most recently.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think he has got that sort of mentality anymore. That if we don't win things, unless it's we're ninth in the league or something. You look at our previous managers. Lampard got sacked because we were ninth. Before that, we had Sarri, which again was unpopular with the fans, and he wanted to go. Conte, we know there was loads of issues. Mourinho, we were 16th by Christmas, so there are always grounds to sack these managers as well. And I think you've got to remember he's been at Chelsea now for nearly 20 years, and we've just literally won every cup competition we could, and some of them more than once. So I think, as you said, we're pretty lucky. We've got an owner that first of all wants to win, and I still think come the summer, he'll still show the same hunger in the transfer market. At the end of the day, we broke our transfer record on Lukaku last summer. So for an owner to do that, there's still clearly some intent that, he still wants more trophies.
I agree with you. We're very blessed with Thomas Tuchel. And I want to thank Harry. Thank you very much for spending time with me for this lovely day. Val's Day. Thank you very much, Harry. And you enjoy the rest of the night. See you tomorrow. Oh, I'll see you some other time, not tomorrow. I talk to you behind the scenes, though. I'll talk to you behind the scenes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So that is Harry on the scene, and a very great Chelsea fan. He knows the game inside out, and I want to thank him. Outside, big up to you. Almighty Blues, a bit late, but then late but not late. He said a big up to Blue Clouds TV, bro, and Harry. Thank you very much. Almighty Blue, he says sorry for being late. Was live on my other. Oh, okay, yeah, I understand. It happens. We all jump in, and then we opt out because we got something to do. When we have a chance, we jump in, and then it's okay. I understand. You don't have to explain yourself, brother. So yeah, the stream is over. An hour 40 minutes. That's too long for my stream. You always want to try and keep it at an hour. So yeah, big up to you. He says big up stuff. He says, hey, you better Ankit. All right, you guys have a good night, brothers. You guys have a good night. Don't forget to like the video. Ankit, like the video for me before you go. I know staff have already done it. Stav, I'm not sure if you did like my video. Put a like on my video for me. You guys have a wonderful night. See you guys some other time. Guys, tuning in tomorrow if you got nothing doing. Same time tomorrow. We have a Man United show on the platform. So catch you guys up tomorrow. Leo Desperandos, I'm going to hope.